Hi guys, my name is Matt. Welcome to another episode. I am in a shop called the Seaside Auto House, spraying the interior of my Ford Transit 350 HD with LizardSkin. It's a two-part compound. As part of my North American van life industry tour, I'm picking up items for the van and also installing some of them as well. LizardSkin can freeze in its raw form, so if you get it in the can and you take that can up north and freeze it, because it's water-based, it will break down the chemical bonds and it will become worthless. So you have to spray it before you freeze. And so I started freaking out, and so I asked around on my YouTube channel, and I used the power of friends and family and YouTube friendships, and they connected me with one of the subscribers, a good friend of mine, subscriber friend of mine, connected me with this auto shop called Seaside Auto House. They do like custom wraps and stuff. If you look at that purple, they're actually redoing that. It's kind of a neat place. I think you'll meet Ninja later. He's like, I got a corner of this shop. You can go ahead and use it. It's climate controlled. You can warm it up. And so I've been here for about a week, cleaning, prepping. Prepping is a big part of this process. But 3 days ago I started spraying, 4 days ago, and this is my third coat. We're going to do the first coat of the ceramic insulation. This is all the sound deadener. Very, very heavy stuff. It's got like this orange pale kind of texture on it. I re-taped this yesterday. Tape started to come off. I'm a little nervous on when I pull the tape off because it's heavy, heavy stuff. It's heavy, heavy stuff. So when I put on the first coat, if you guys haven't watched it, it really, really was a mess. There were sections that were just totally peeled off. You can't even tell now. Wow. I know that this section right here was totally peeled. You could see some of the place where it peeled off. It was really, really bad. And I really got nervous, and I thought, oh shit, did I do a horrible job? And I did. The first spray was not a really good job. I didn't do prep enough. So I peeled off all the areas and I sanded it. I also peeled off areas on the ground here, all around the wheel wells, and resprayed them and prepped them. All of this area is going to be underneath the floor. All of these are going to be underneath the walls. All of these is going to be underneath the ceiling. So I'm not super concerned with too much of a quality issues. I just didn't want it flaking off indiscriminately. Right here is the cockpit. I pulled the driver's seat and passenger seat off, and then the headliner, of course. And yeah, we're good. I got in every nook and cranny. Everything is good. Because I've sprayed it 3 times, I've sort of got a process down, and I kind of understand, you know, how to do it. Basically, I do the ceiling first. I go all the way back, all the way forward. And then I go internal pockets. I get all the internal pockets up above. Then I do the fascia up above. After that, I do the front cockpit, door. Then I start working my way on this side. This side. Then I do the sliding door. Then I do the lower area. And then I do this lower area. And then I do the rest of the floor. The reason I do that is because each level requires a different posture, and so this is like really the most stressful, like lifting your arms up. So I try and get that out of the way like first, you know, because I'm gonna get tired later. And then here, this takes a long time, so you're kind of getting in there, and you also lose patience. In many ways, I'm laying on the floor. So the first thing I do, I actually get down on the ground and I lay down like this, and my head is inside and I'm looking up and I'm spraying up into the interior. Oh, there's a piece of LizardSkin that's coming up, and I look into here and I'm spraying up into these areas, and I'm actually like laying down on my back, and I scoot, and then I come here and then I'm spraying in this way and that way and all this stuff. And then I spray the outside. And you know what's funny is when you lay down, you can see upwards, and you actually can see all the places that you missed. The underside of all of these edges. I actually see some white. I can't believe I could see some white. I spent so much time spraying this van, and I can still see a little bit of white. And then I do the doors here last. because I'll just have whatever material I have left in the sprayer, and I just sort of go over the doors. Oh, my alarm's going off. I also do this top bar here, which is really important because the air conditioning unit is going to, the ducting is going to come across this beam and then down this beam, and I want that to be moisture resistant as well as thermally resistant. Oh, this stuff is dark. I thought this was going to be lighter. It is lighter, like weight-wise lighter, but it is much, much darker than the sound deadener. Holy moly! I'm very curious to see how this is going to go on. Its consistency is much different than the sound deadener. Very, very light, by like a third. There we go. Got one. I ran out of the Harbor Freight, or the Home Depot, like really nice quality smocks, and now I'm wearing the Harbor Freight kind, and they're already ripping and they don't have feet. So I'll be doing this spraying barefoot, which is okay, I guess. It's not like my feet are getting into any you know, wet stuff, but it's just, you can tell the difference in quality. Let's go. Guys, the weight of this stuff compared to the sound deadener, it's incredible. It's like I'm holding like a feather. It is so light. Very curious to see how this stuff is gonna go on. It's supposed to be made up of like airy particles, which is why it basically creates an air gap, so that like a ceramic air gap, so that the heat and cold don't penetrate through. I think I overfilled it. I think I did. This stuff is so weird. It's water-based too, so all you got to do is wash it off. But all right, we got the first load. So this stuff is a lot different. It's flowing out of the nozzle really weird. I don't really like it. I like the sound deadener. It sprays a lot better. This is going to take me about double the amount of time to coat it. Plus it's so light, I don't even know when I'm empty. That sound deadener was so heavy that when it like emptied, you knew it. Now I'm like, am I empty or not? It's like air. Jayoe. Alright guys, we finished. Alright guys, we finished the first bucket. It was really quick. Like, I didn't even finish coating the ceiling, and we're on to the second bucket. I'm going to go through this stuff real fast. The second coat is going to be a light coat, I think, because I'm going to use most of this stuff on the first coat. It's a lot different than the first sound deadener. A lot different. But anyways, opening up the second bucket. Let's go. Alright, I'm getting ready to do the next coat, and I just started scratching at the filter. So this is white, that's clean, right? But this is the interior filter. Check this out. That's what was in my, well, could have been in my lungs. That's pretty crazy. There's like a layer on top of this filter though. I can peel it off. I can literally just extend the life of this filter. Just peel off the inner layer and you can get, I forgot to buy another set of filters, so this will be okay for now. Tomorrow I'll have to get some new ones. Good as new. It's much thicker. It dries the exact same color, like that is dry, and you can't tell the difference between that and basically the original sound deadener. It's pretty close. I think you can see here that area is ceramic coating. Is it? Yeah, that's ceramic coating curing. But I think when it cures 100%, it's going to look almost indistinguishable. The thing is, I still have the floor to do. And when I do the floor, I will run through all of that, all of the remainder of that, maybe with a little bit left over. I have a totally different strategy with regards to the thermal barrier. Because heat is going to come in directly from the exterior surface, anything that's against the wall is my priority. So for example, I'm doing all of these inner areas and I'm not really doing the outer fascia here, because that's my line of defense. So for example, down here I'm doing this internal area, and then this area here I'm doing because it's very difficult to actually get you can't spray up into this little sliver here, so I figure I'd do that. I did the same thing with the doors. This top area here, there's no way I can get into that area to spray the metal that's facing the exterior, so I just sprayed that. But I'm also leaving a lot of areas from spraying it all. For example, this all of this fascia here I'm not spraying because I'm trying to conserve the ceramic coating. And so I'm just going into these areas. I call LizardSkin, but it's Sunday, so nobody's there. I was going to ask him if I was doing anything wrong. Played around with the nozzle to try to change the stream. I increased the pressure a little bit, which allowed me to disperse the spray a little bit better, because it's clumping. It's very clumpy. You can see here. Let's see here. You can see here how clumpy it is. Very clumpy. That's still drying. I'm just gonna probably do one coat. I'm gonna use all this up right now, which is cool. And it particularizes I just cleaned these, and look, they're already black. They're white by the time it gets through this filter, so thank God I'm using that filter. Even right now, I can smell it's certainly in the air right now. But I'm gonna put this on real soon, because I think I have enough for the floor and a little bit more. I'm gonna do the floor, and I'm gonna do this headliner right here above the headliner, because I think a lot of heat can come in through that headliner. I really gobbed it on the ceiling, so I think we're good on the ceiling. I wish I had enough for another coat, but that would mean I'd have to double up. And yeah, no time for that. I think I did the best with what I got, and I watched a lot of videos. I didn't hear anybody quite bringing that up, but yeah, it's certainly something to consider. I wonder, because I haven't heard anybody bringing it up, I'm wondering if my situation is different. Maybe my material is a little thicker, I don't know. It's kind of cool though, because I can start putting everything back into the van, and I can let it dry for a little bit of an extra extended period of time. I did do this wall here, this one and this one. I caked it on really good, because these walls are not going to have windows. I also focused extra around the back area, like right in the back, because this is where I'm going to do interviews. This is where my air conditioning is going to be, ducting is going to weave through, and so I focused a little bit more. It's fun to do your own van like this, because you understand the purpose for which you are going to use the van, and so you can design You can design the process accordingly. So like I want to do interviews from the back of the van, I want to make videos from the back of the van, I want to feel comfortable in the back of the van. So I caked on the material a little bit more in this back area. Get ready to go. Jayoe. Alright guys, I have done and dirtied up a really good mess. I've created a very nice mess. I did a live stream yesterday, and even my selfie stick has got all this black over it. Nobody can steal my stuff now because it's got a special type of dirt all over it. Okay, so we have finished spraying for the day. We have one bucket left. So tomorrow I will get up really early and see if I can spray. I really concentrated a lot on the floor because the hydronic heating system, which is a series of pipes with hot liquid that run through it, through the floor, will lay on top of this thermal barrier. What I'm thinking is if you have this thermal barrier, it doesn't allow anything, basically it doesn't allow transfer of temperature, or not all. It will resist cold leaving or heat leaving, or cold entering or heat entering. It basically keeps what's inside inside and outside outside. And so I think by really doing a nice clean thick layer on the floor, when I lay the hot floor on, none of that heat will radiate through the floor and leave the van. It'll sort of ricochet off and stay inside, which is the goal of a hot floor. All in all, I think it was good. Could it be better? Probably. But not so bad for a guy trying to figure things out. All right, I'm gonna clean up. I'll tell you one thing though. I am really glad that's supposed to be white. That's my breathing mask. That's supposed to be white, and that's the second time I've cleaned it. I protected myself from inhaling a ton of ceramic insulator. Meanwhile, while I'm out here, Ninja is working on his projects. This is looking quite nice. I told him if he could get some black, because I make like a black and chrome, where it's like shimmery chrome with the deep black, then that might be a cool color to put on the hood of the van. That would be very unique, I think. Like a black and chrome. But we'll see. Right on the hood. That'd be pretty badass. Hey guys! How's it going? Same day, a little bit later. A lot later actually. What time is it? It's like 6:54, almost 7 p.m. It's really dry in there. It's really dry in there. And we've got one more bucket. If I spray on that last bucket, tomorrow I can put this van back together. And boy, oh boy, do I want to put this van back together. I mean, it's kind of neat to have it all empty here, but I sure as hell want it back together. I also want to stop having to wash paint off my body every day. Pretty soon I'm going to be sound deadened and thermally barriered. So this is what we're going to do. We got one more bucket. I have a feeling, I think I'm just going to put it all on the floor. The other thing I'd like to do is, like, almost as soon as I finish, even while the floor is curing, I can start pulling the tape off. I can take all of this sort of scaffolding and plastic down, and I can start with a razor blade and start working off and making sure that I can untape all of this stuff. I'm a little bit nervous and excited because some of me's nervous, thinking that my tape is going to end up pulling off some of this lizard skin. No time like the present, right? Get her done, right? I'm gonna mix up this lizard skin. I was gonna heat it up, but I don't think so. I'm just gonna fill it up in my sprayer, and we're just gonna get to town here. Went on a lot quicker than I had thought, but that's okay. I think this This can has had it. But the inside stays very clean. It's amazing. The inside stays clean, but the outside is like a rock. Sprayer has treated me well. This is the first time I've ever sprayed anything. I thought it was fun. It wasn't as difficult as I thought, but like I said, I'm not doing like some sort of glossy coat. It's not like I got to worry about the texture. All right, let me get some water and we can start painting. I was just getting ready to spray, but I want to show you something. I want your take on something. I had a bunch of LizardSkin left over from the last application, and instead of opening up a new bucket, exposing it to the air, and then like trying to pour in the old stuff and not disposing of it, I thought I might as well use it, right? Because it was about a quarter of one of the sprayer containers. So I took a paintbrush and I painted it on the front area underneath my feet at the driver's side. Now look at this. This is pretty good. This is me painting it on. I feel like painting it on was pretty good. I'm thinking maybe I take that last bucket over there and instead of spraying it at all, I mean, I've already sprayed it everywhere it needs to be sprayed. What if I just paint it? I'll just paint it on. I mean, it's going to be underneath all sorts of stuff anyway, and the first coat is already on. I think I'm going to paint it. It'll save me from having to charge that sprayer and everything. Maybe I can sort of gob it on the floor, give it a nice thick coat. It will also won't allow me to get too messy and crazy. So here's my paintbrush, sort of a cheapo, but I'm going to start with this back bar here. I used to work on a yacht. It summered in Detroit and then wintered in Fort Lauderdale. Sometimes it went to the Bahamas. And I used to paint the deck. I was first mate, so I had to take care of all that stuff. Painting is not something I'm unfamiliar with. Spraying, that's one thing I was unfamiliar with, but painting, I've done a couple of times. I used to paint the teak and the cap rail on the yacht. Every morning I'd have to take a job, whether it was cleaning the engines or swapping the decks or cleaning the windows or some sort of thing. That was a fun job. And get a job on a boat. Not one of those cruise ships though. Getting a job on a cruise ship is not a fun job. Yeah, I like this. This is a much better way than spraying it. For this material at least. What do you think? I mean, I'm going to cover most of this stuff up. You know, it doesn't look great. It certainly doesn't look like polished, you know, painted metal. But I feel like the coverage is a lot better. All I got to do is keep working it down. Alright guys, we finished. Well, we finished. There's just about this much left in the bucket, but I can't figure out anything else I want to coat, and I can't step on the floor now because it's drying. So it's done. You know what we can do now? We can rip off all the plastic. That's what I'll at least do tonight. We'll get the plastic off. We'll start planning out tomorrow to reassemble. I have enough of the sound deadener to probably put another coat on the floor if I wanted to on some specific areas. I don't think we'll be spraying anymore, so we can start stripping everything off. I'm very excited about this part because it'll start getting the van back to somewhat of a state. It's like unwrapping a really, really, really big Christmas present that you wrapped. You're re-gifting yourself. All right, so the doors are peeled back. Not bad, not bad. A couple of areas that I'll need to fix. This piece right here, I can probably just paint that. And then this piece here, same on the other side. It was something about that hinge there that didn't do too well. But we can shut the doors for the first time. How about that? We can see if the latch still works. I'm sure the latch still works. Ooh. What's going on? I got really nervous thinking I seized up something on the inside, but then I realized I took off the latch. Yeah, I gotta put this thing back together as well as untape it. There's a lot of work to do. I have a feeling there are gonna be a lot of moments like that. All right, let's try that again. All right, guys, you gotta know when to call it quits. It's 11 o'clock. Good night, guys. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm tired. Good night.